A judge has granted Selma Blair a restraining order against her former boyfriend. The actress filed for a protective order on February 25, alleging Ronald Carlson, whom she dated for roughly 7 years, physically attacked her on February 22. In court documents obtained by People, Blair, 49, says Carlson was at her home returning a television set. She had just finished a multiple sclerosis treatment a few minutes prior, which she says left her weak. After they returned their respective keys to one another, Blair told Carlson she wasn't feeling well. She alleges that in response Carlson verbally assaulted her, yelling that she is useless, adding, "I don't f***ing deserve this, I can do so much better than you." She says that Carlson then became enraged and physically attacked Blair, jumping on top of her body while she was lying prone on the sofa, per court documents. She claims he strangled her, throttling her and shaking her head and shoulders aggressively. Blair says in the filing that in self-defense, she put her fingers in Carlson's eyes and mouth as she screamed for help from her housekeeper, who was upstairs. Carlson responded by allegedly putting his hand over her mouth and face, pushing it down into the couch, per the docs, making Blair unable to breathe. She briefly lost consciousness before a further physical struggle ensued. Carlson allegedly slapped Blair, pushed the side of her head, causing her to fall back to the floor and begin to bleed from her nose, according to the filing. Carlson left, and Blair called the Los Angeles Police Department, who arrived that evening. While she was speaking with officers, her nose began to bleed, and she passed out. She was taken to the hospital via ambulance for treatment, the documents state. Carlson was arrested later that evening for a felony of domestic violence with corporal injuries. A 5-day protective order obtained by the LAPD was placed against him, per the documents. Officers urged her to file for a restraining order before the 5 days passed. Photos captured by the LAPD show bruising around her neck and chin, and marks on her hands. Blair notes in the filing that she was particularly afraid as she claimed Carlson has an unregistered and loaded firearm in his home and threatened to kill her during the alleged attack. A Los Angeles Superior Court judge granted Blair's restraining order on February 25, according to court documents obtained by People. Carlson later filed for his own restraining order, which was denied. Lawyers for both Blair and Carlson did not immediately respond to People's requests for comment. If you are experiencing domestic violence, call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233, or go to thehotline.org. All calls are toll-free and confidential. The hotline is available 24/7 in more than 170 languages,